Hi guys, it's
Georgia.
Hannah.
and Annika.
Today we're going to be looking at 3 different holiday cookies.
The first cookie we looked at was a Linzer cookie. To start, you want to cream together 12 tablespoons of room temperature butter, a half cup of granulated sugar, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Mix until it's fully combined. Once it's creamy, mix in the yolk and add a teaspoon of vanilla until it's combined. In a separate bowl, you will whisk together 1 1/3 cups of flour, 3/4 cup of almond flour, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt together. Add the mixture into the yolk mixture. The next step is rolling out the dough and cutting out circles. Each cookie has 2 halves. One side should have a donut-like look to it, and so this allows the jam to peek through. After you have the cookies cut out, chill them for an hour. While the cookies are chilling, preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Once it's time to take the cookies out of the fridge, set them out for 5 to 10 minutes so they can thaw and start baking. The cookies should be in the oven for around 12 to 15 minutes, and when the edges are getting to be a shade of brown, you are ready to take them out. Cool the cookies and spread a thin layer of jam on one of the halves before connecting the two. Feel free to dust the top with powdered sugar.
For our second recipe, we chose iced ginger cookies. Before you begin, make sure to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Using a whisk or spatula, mix together 1 cup of granulated sugar, 3/4 cup of salted butter, and once it is fluffy, stir in 1 egg and 3 tablespoons of molasses. In a separate bowl, you'll mix your dry ingredients: 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, 1½ teaspoons of ground ginger, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, half a teaspoon of ground cloves, and finally 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. After this, you'll gradually add in your dry ingredients to the butter and sugar mixture. Mix it all together and it should result in a dough-like consistency. Cover a plate or shallow bowl in baker's sugar. Using a tablespoon, scoop out enough dough to make a 1-inch round ball. Repeat this until the dough is gone. One at a time, place the dough ball into the baker's sugar and shake around until it's fully covered. Repeat this until each one is covered. On a cookie sheet, arrange the dough balls so they are not touching. Then place the cookie sheet in the oven and bake for 10 minutes. Now you can start the icing. In a bowl, mix together 1 cup of powdered sugar, 2 tablespoons of water, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Make sure it is smooth. Once the cookies are out of the oven, let them finish baking on the pan for about 5 minutes and then transfer them to a cooling rack and let them completely cool. Next, use a spoon to drizzle the icing over the cookies and let the icing dry, and your cookies are ready to enjoy.
Our third and final cookie is white chocolate chip and peppermint. First, preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Next, mix together half a cup of softened butter, half a cup of granulated sugar, and 1/4 cup of brown sugar together. Then add 1 egg and a teaspoon of vanilla extract and mix until combined. Add 1 1/4 cup of flour and 1/4 teaspoon baking soda and mix until just combined. Add half a cup of crushed candy canes and half a cup of white chocolate chips. Mix. Scoop the batter into balls onto a baking tray with parchment paper. Then bake for 8 to 11 minutes until the middle is set and don't overbake. And then let the cookies cool and enjoy.
After making all 3 cookies and tasting each one, we ranked them based on a few different factors. For best tasting and most binge-worthy, ginger came in first with a 9.6 out of 10. The most fun to make but most time-consuming were the Linzer. And finally, the simplest cookies to make and Santa's first choice were the white chocolate candy cane cookies.